you did what I did, you would lose your eligibility. You could lose your life. I was brought up in Ridley Circle, downtown Newport News. I graduated from Old Ferguson High School, so I was part of the Peninsula District like most of you guys. I was 6'3", 199-pound defensive back. Had a scholarship to Shaw University, Raleigh, North Carolina, one of those small division schools in the CIAA. I was CIAA Rookie of the Year as a defensive back. Ran a 4.4 40. Our school program was shut down my senior year. So I had nowhere to go. I was looking to be picked up by the Oakland Raiders as a free safety. But because we didn't have a program my senior year, all the NFL teams kind of backed off. But I did receive a phone call from the Dallas Cowboys in 1980. I tried out as a defensive back as a free agent. So it happened I was cut. I was beat out by Dexter Clinkscale from South Carolina State. Everson Walls came in, lady was all pro. I had come back home to Newport News. I figured I had to get bigger, stronger, and faster just to make the team. So I was introduced to anabolic steroids. I was introduced to Dianabol. There were 5 milligram tablets. Testosterone enanthate. It's a testosterone that feels like motor oil. You take about 1 to 3 cc's a week. And then I had another drug called Deca Durabolin. Deca Durabolin helps the body heal and repair in 6 hours when it normally takes you 48 hours to heal and repair. You ever lifted weights and you feel a soreness in your muscle? Your muscles actually rip and tear. And then they mend back together in 48 hours and causes you to grow. Deca Durabolin causes it to do that in 6 hours. As a defensive back, I weighed 199, was 6'3". After my first cycle with those 3 drugs, that's called stacking. It's a steroid cocktail, and you mix those 3 together. At the end of 4 weeks, I was 248 pounds. I had a 60-inch chest, 27-inch waist, 22-inch arms, 36-inch thighs. I could bench press 500 pounds, 15 reps on the incline. When you're taking steroids like that, it feeds on protein and carbohydrates. I used to take in 199, maybe 250 chicken breasts a week. 2 loaves of bread a day, 24 egg whites, a pound of salad, a pound of macaroni and cheese, 20,000 calories a day. At the end of that cycle, I decided to go into bodybuilding instead of pursuing another career in the National Football League. I became the best bodybuilder in the state of Virginia, qualified for Mr. America, qualified for the Nationals. But since I moved from local to national, I had to increase my drug intake. I decided to experiment with some other drugs. One was called testosterone suspension. It's a testosterone that goes right to your system. And I'm gonna give you the warning sign. When you're taking an artificial testosterone, your natural system shuts down. Your body produces testosterone on its own. But if you put artificial testosterone in it, it shuts you down, which means you have no testicles at all. You got a baseball bat and no balls. Nothing there. You can't even see it. And it shuts down for as long as you're on your cycle. Then I start experimenting with Equipoise and Winstrol V. Those are veterinarian drugs. Those are drugs you inject in racehorses. Those are drugs we used when it came close down to contest time. I was 285 pounds. My chest was 64. I know you can't see that, but that's what I used to look like. This is a book that was birthed out of this camp when I gave my presentation about 4 years ago, I decided to put together some information. It's called A Culture of Steroid Use Among High School Athletes, The Secret Crisis of Body Obsession. The reason why I produced this book is because you guys cannot be tested. We can only do surveys. It's against the SACS accreditation because what this does, it invades your privacy. Therefore, a lot of high school athletes are using anabolic steroids to cheat. We did a survey of 10,000 students across the East Coast. We discovered that 33% of the steroid users were females. Cheerleaders, swimmers, gymnastics, and 5% of the girls who used steroids, all they wanted was the six-pack because steroids would take off that body fat. Now, after my last cycle, I started using STH, which is the human growth hormone. And I began to experience all the side effects that I placed on the copy of this book. If you look at my knees and you want to look like me, I'm 52 years old. I had 2 total knee replacements. Both knees been replaced. Steroids robs the knees of calcium. I had tricarpal disease, which means every ligament that was surrounded and hold my knees together were ravished, they were stripped. I had no ligaments and no cartilage. I'm gonna make it very graphic. I had 52 stitches. They pulled the knee out of the leg. They shaved the bone down to smooth it off. They take 2 rubber pieces, put in between the joints, 2 steel plates and 4 screws on each side, and cut the ligaments to straighten the legs out. I was 6'3" when I played defensive back, but because of the 2 surgeries, I'm now 6'5". I grew 3 inches. I had kidney damage. I had black spots on my lungs, blood clots, ulcers. All those were symptoms of anabolic steroid use and abuse. I run a foundation, it's called the Hooton Foundation, as a consultant. Taylor was a 17-year-old baseball player from Plano, Texas. He tried his first cycle. Instead of going progressively up from testosterone to a stronger steroid like Winstrol V, he used a drug called Anadrol 50. It's the most powerful oral that you could take. I stay down the street from Chris Benoit, the wrestler. Everybody know Chris Benoit? We were neighbors, and he murdered his wife, he smothered his son, and then he hung himself. Steroids cause you to go into a funky depression. And that's what happened to the kid in Plano, Texas, Taylor Hooton. His parents found him hanging from a ceiling fan. The reason why I'm giving you the guy, because it's a precaution. In sports today, Major League Baseball, football, and any other sport that use anabolic steroids, it will increase your performance. I will guarantee it. I could squat 875 pounds without a sweat. My second squat didn't go that well. I broke parallel and I tore my entire groin. The left knee slipped and I was lying on the floor with one leg out and a tore groin. But because I was using Deca Durabolin, I was back in the gym within a week because it heals and repairs that fast. That's why you see most pitchers injecting themselves with HGH, because of the heal and repair, because the arm is not designed to throw a ball 100 miles per hour that fast at that velocity. And you inject yourself 3 times a week, you find yourself recovering that fast. But don't forget about the side effects. Don't forget, if you get caught, it's going to cost your career, it's going to cost your team a championship, and it could cost you your life.